Hello guys, you're welcome once again to another video, and in the last video we were able to set up our private routes for both our admin and our users. And so in this video we're going to be going straight into designing our application. And what I already did was I opened my GitHub repo here for the application that we're currently building, so from 505/YouTube multiple. And the reason why I did that is because I'm not going to be spending my time writing a lot of JSX for styling or some CSS for styling. Just going to copy that and then paste it. So you can just head over here to from 505 here /repositories/YouTube React multi-auth right in here, and within the source, and I think I'll just leave it here. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to our application, and within our home.js, remember home.js has in here home. There's a home view which we are importing our home.js. So I'm going to close saved, and oh boy. So right in our home view, I'm going to import button, and this is going to come from material UI core button. And once I've imported this, I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to wrap this in another div. All right. Oh boy, sorry. I'm going to wrap this in another div, and within this div we are going to define two buttons. The first one is going to take us to our home component, so our user, and the second one is going to take us to our admin. So for our button, our variant is going to be contained basically, so we want our button to have like a color. Then we want the size of the button to be very large, and the color, this is going to be primary. And the text for this button is going to be user. All right, so I'm just going to copy this right now, and I'm going to paste that in here. And this color is not going to be primary, it's going to be secondary instead. And this is going to be admin. Save this, save our home.js2, get back to our browser, application refresh, and here we have the two buttons. Our user, which navigates us to our user, and our admin, which navigates us to our admin. So we are going to kind of give these on-click events to do the redirecting to those URLs. So what I'm going to do is within our home.js, I'm going to pass our props here, and in here I'm going to call props, and I'm going to pass props here. All right. So right in here I'm going to pass that props, and for these two guys I'm going to give them both on-click events, and our on-click event is going to have a function here that I'm going to call go to dashboard. Sorry. Dashboard 1, and I'm also going to, let me just copy this right now, and I'll paste this here. So I could call this go to dashboard 2, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write the functions in here. So I'm going to say const go to dashboard 1, and this is going to be a very simple function that is just going to take us to dashboard 1. So first of all, I'm going to write here, first of all, let me console.log props, right? And I'm also going to copy this 2. So this is going to go to dashboard 2. I'm going to console.log props, and I'm going to save this 2 and head to our browser. And if I just clear this now, sorry, and I click on user, you can see it's returning the object of props, and props also has another object called props before we have access to the history object. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say here props.props.history.push. So basically this is going to navigate me to the user route, and this is also going to navigate me here to the admin route. If I save this, I head over to my browser, and let's refresh this, and if I click here, you can see it takes me to the user, but because I'm not logged in, it redirects me back to the user login page. And if I try to go admin, it directs me back to the admin login page. We can actually make this a little bit better, which is just to say we could just call this go to dashboard, right? We could just call this go to dashboard, and we could do it this way. There's going to be an event, and we're going to pass an event, and here we're going to pass the URL, so user, and go to dashboard, and here we're going to pass the URL this way, which is admin. And all we just need to do now is we could call go to dashboard, and here we're going to pass e and URL, and we could just do it this way, push, and we are going to pass the URL here. Save that right now. It's going to basically do the same thing. If I click on user, it directs us to login because we're not logged in. Click on admin, it directs us to login because we are not logged in. Okay, so let's just go with things this way. All right, so now that we have this working, I like to style this a bit. I don't like the way these buttons are. So for the styling, I'm not going to write in the styling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to styles.js. I'm going to look for a JS styling here and scroll down a bit. So we're going to use material designs use style, and I'm going to copy this right now and get back to here. And I'm going to create that file here within the root of our application, style.js. And I'm going to paste this in here. So basically what we are just doing is we're importing make styles from Material UI core. Make styles helps us define our own styles when we are using Material UI for the design of our application. And this just passes the theme, and this is display flex and our container div, which we're going to be seeing how we are going to use them extra button styles. We just flex. We just want this to be flex automatic, so it just automatically align itself. Then we want the position to be fixed. The distance from the top is 40%, from the left is 45%. Margin top 10 pixels, flex auto top. Just basic CSS styling with their properties. So what we are going to do now is we're going to head back into homeview.js, and within homeview.js, we're going to import use styles, and this is going to come from, so basically we are heading back to our root, styles.js. And now that we have imported use styles, we need to create an instance of use styles within our function. So I'm going to call this classes, and this will be the instance of use styles, which we have imported here. And if you check this out right here, we const export. Yes, we're exporting const use styles. So right in here, we are importing use styles from styles. And we are creating an instance of use styles. And we can now make use of use styles in here. So right here, I'm going to give this a class name of, say, classes.homeRoots. Classes.homeRoots. If we get back in here, and we just look at home, it just helps us to display our items flex side by side and give them some spacing in between them. So the next class we're going to add here is going to be for the second div, and I'm going to call the container div object. And if we get in here, our container div just automatically sizes things, sets them to position fixed, sets them from the distance top 40% and left 45% so that we can have them at the center. And then I'm going to add one more styling here, and this is going to be for our buttons. So for this button, I'm going to call class name, and the class here is going to be .btn extra btn style. So let me copy this right now, and I'm going to paste that in here. And if I get back to styles.js, our extra btn style just kind of sets our margin top to 10 pixels. So I'm going to save that right now and head back to our browser. Sorry guys, and yep, we have our buttons displayed side by side. And why do we have the buttons so closely entangled to themselves? Why? Okay, let's see. What we could do here is quite surprised. Margin top 10 pixels. Okay, let's do margin. No, let's do margin instead, not margin top 10. Yep. Okay, so now we have the buttons separated from themselves. So if I click on user, it redirects me to user login. Instead of the dashboard, I click on admin, directs me here instead of the dashboard, and I can go back. All right. So now that we have succeeded in being able to design this perfectly, which is our home view.js, we're now going to go into designing our user login page. So I'm going to go into login.js for our user. And in our user login page, we just have this basic text and nothing else. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the views. And in our views, we are going to create the folder here called auth. And within our auth folder, we are going to then create a view here. And I'm going to call this view login view.js. And within our login view, we are going to have this as a functional component. So this is our login view.js. And in our login view.js, we're going to import a couple of things. We are going to need to use a text field. So we're going to import text field from material UI core and text field. We are also going to use buttons here. So I'm going to import button from material UI core button, and we're also going to need to import our icon, basically our icon, which is going to be the account circle icon. Account circle icon, and this is material UI core account circle icon or account circle. Yep, let me just be sure about this. Let's head in here, and I think this is material UI icons, right? Material UI icon and material UI.com. Oh, let me see. Let me do React material UI icons. Material UI. Yep, here. So we're going to search for account, and here we have account circle. So yep, this is what I am looking for. So now let's just get rid of this because I'm not so sure. Okay, so now that we have account circle, we have button, and we have our text field. Within our login view, we are going to write our login form. So for our login form, we are first of all going to have a div here, and this div we are going to have to import use styles first. So let me import the use styles. Of course, we know where use styles is coming from. It's from our styles.js. And this is going to come from our styles, and we want to use center item here, so basically to help us center our form at the center, to center our form right at the center. And this is going to be classes dot center item, and I'm going to create an instance of use style within our function. So const classes, which will be equal to use styles. Okay, so const classes is an instance of use styles, and we'll just call classes.center item. So right in here, we are going to first of all use cards. So we're going to use cards. Yep, and we'll need cards. So cards is imported from material UI core. Oh, I think this is much better. Rather than loiter import several imports, since they are coming from the same location, why not we just kind of just pass all of them in here? Yep. Button. Now get rid of this and view. All right, so we have cards, and we are making use of cards. Basically, we just want the forms to be within card elements or card components, and in here we can now start by writing our form. So normal HTML form, and for our form we will attach an onSubmit event here, and this event is going to have a function called user login. And here, where are you importing this from? Not yet, right? So our event is going to be called user login. So I'm going to call our function, sorry, not our event, user login, and for this we are just going to call the event handler, and let's just leave it there. So we have user login, our form taking user login, and for our form we are going to start off by designing our forms. And in here I'm going to have a div, and our div is going to wrap our text field component, and our text field component is a self-enclosing component. So we're going to set the properties of our text field component, and we're going to set the type to be the type of email. And for the class name, we are also going to use classes.fullWidth. So the full width style is just let's see here, full width. It just says the width is 70%, margin left 15, margin right 15, and margin top 80 pixels. So it just kind of makes our form not to take up the whole width of the parent container. All right, so now we have set the class name. We want this to be required, and the margin is going to be normal. So this is just basic material UI options. The variant we want our variants to be outlined. So, oh boy, save this. Now let's see what we have here. Let's go to this. Oh, we won't see anything because we have not imported that in here. So let's import login view from, and this is going to go into our views, and in our views, our user, our auth, and then our login view. And I'm going to call this login view. Save that now. And now let's see what we have for our user login. And yeah, we just have just this. That's cool. So let's get back into our login view.js, and now let's continue with our application. So we're going to have a label here. So our label is going to serve as our placeholder. So our label is going to be our email. And now if I save this and I head back to our browser, you can see our placeholder, our email. So now that we have set our email field, we are then going to set, I'm just going to copy this whole guy here. And this is going to serve as our password. So the only thing we're going to, I think we're going to change here is going to be this. Okay, the two things, sorry, not only thing, because there are two things. We're going to change this to password, and our label is going to be password. Save this, now head to application, and now we have email field and password field. Now the last thing on the list is going to be our button. So I'm going to wrap this around the div too, and let's call button, sorry. And of course, within our button, we want this to be type of submit because this is a form. And for the class, we are going to add the same full width so that the buttons and the inputs are of the same width. All right, so within our button, we are okay. Let's add a couple of properties before I forget them. So for our button, we want the color to be primary, and we also want the variant to be contained so that the button is not invisible, kind of like it's not going to be like a button that you can't see the edges, something like that, without the color. You can only see the text. So here we have our button, but because there is no content in our button, it looks this way. So in our button, I'm going to call login here, and yep, we have login. Let's see if we could make this a bit bolder. And yep, it's now a bit bolder. And not just that, we are also going to add an icon to this. So we're going to use material designs property for button called end icon, and this allows us to add an icon. So we're going to use our accounts circle icon, save that, and now yep, we have this displaying this way. So we have this, and this. But that's not all. We would like to have a header here and have links on that to kind of navigate us to other pages in this application. And so for the header, we are going to get to the top of our application, right at the top of the card before the forms. And I'm going to have a h2 tag here and the bold tag too. And this is going to say, welcome to user login page. Save that. And I'm going to get down to the bottom in here. And right after this button, we're going to have a couple of links. So I'm going to have a div tag here. And our div tag, we're going to use the link here. And I hope it imported link for us. Yes, but not from, we don't want the link from Material UI Core. We want the link from React Router DOM. So I'm going to import link. And this is going to come from React Router DOM. And now we are going to, in here, with our link tag, navigate to /user/register, and we're going to have register here. And I'm going to copy this right now and just paste this in here too, /home. So this is basically going to take us back to our home page. So I'm going to go back to home page, and I'm going to also save this now. And if I head back to our application, refresh that, you can see this looks good, but it doesn't look too good because there are no spaces in between the items here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an extra style here. So we're going to have class name, and I'm going to call classes.link container, and I'm also going to call class name here, and we're going to have classes, classes.link container. And if I scroll up here, save that, let's see, nothing here. So now let's head back to our browser, and yep, we have some spaces in between them. And our classes.link container is coming from our styles.js, and our link container is just setting a margin bottom of 20 pixels. So that's why this has 20 pixels from this, and this has 20 pixels from the bottom. So we have perfectly styled our login form. If I click here, it tells me please fill out this field. So we're not using anything like formic or our custom validation. We're just using HTML5 input validation or validator. Okay, so now that we have styled our login page for our user, let's do the same for our register view. So I'm going to create a new view here, and I'm going to call this register view Cheers. And since our register view is going to be very similar to our login view, I am going to simply just copy, or no, let me come into our register view. First of all, create the functional component here. Then I'm going to go into our login view.js, and I'm going to copy from our login view. Let's copy all this. So let's go into our register view, since our register view is quite similar to our login view. And I'm going to also copy you to create an instance within this guy here. And let's get back to our login view. And I'm going to copy this whole div right now. And paste that in here. All right. So that we can save this. And we are going to go to our register for our user. Right in here, we're going to import our register view from views user auth register view, and let's pass that in here. Oh boy, so many typos for one day, my bad. All right, so register view, and I'm going to save that. And I know it's telling us user login has not been defined, so let's call this event is going to be called user register. And I'm just going to create that event here. So const user register, and let's just pass e here, and that should end. Now save this, and that error has gone. But our user register is not complete because we don't just want the user's email and password. We actually have more fields for register because we also want the name, and we want to also confirm whether the user password matches. So we're going to copy this right here, and I'm going to paste that here. So this is going to be text, type of text, and the label is going to be the name. So we have name, the email, we have password, and we also want confirm password here. Copy this guy, paste that in here, and we want confirm password. And so the name, the email, the confirm, and here we are going to change this to register. If I save that right now, head back to our browser, go to /register, and here we have our register page. But we also have a couple of things we need to change in here, like say register here. It's actually supposed to be login here. So login here, save that. And now if I head back to our browser and I click on login here, nothing happens. Why? Let's get back in here. And in our register view, we have user/register, actually supposed to be user/login. Save that. Now head back in here. And if I click here, it takes me to login, takes me to register, takes me login, register, back to home page. All right, so now we have designed our login and our register page for our user. Let's do the same quickly for our admin. And our admin shouldn't take us as much time as the user because we are basically going to be just copying and pasting. So for our admin, our user, auth, login view, register view, admin, we're going to have a folder here. We're going to call this auth, and login view. We're going to copy this. Let me just copy the two of them instead of just wasting so much time. I'm going to copy these two guys, and I'm going to paste them in here too. So the only thing we are going to change for you guys is going to be /admin/register, and here we're going to have /admin/login, and here we're going to have welcome to admin login page, and here we have register. For our login view, register here, back to home page, welcome to admin login, right? Welcome to admin login page, and this is supposed to be welcome to admin register page. And I think we make that mistake in login view for user, so I'm going to change not user, register view for user. So we're going to say welcome to user register page. Save that, and welcome to user register, welcome to user login. And now we can then head back to our pages, and our admin has auth, already has login and register page. So within our login for admin, we're going to import login view, and this is going to come from /views admin of login view. Oh boy, login view, and we are going to pass that in here. Call this our login view. Save that. For register, we are also going to import register view. Sorry. Oh my god, what is this? And this is going to come from views admin of register view. And I'm going to pass that here and call this register view. Oh boy, save that right now. And we can go back to home page. And if I go to admin, this is admin login. Welcome to admin login page. Can go to register here. Welcome to admin register page. Can go back to log home page. Can go to user. Welcome to user login page. Register. Welcome to user register page. So that's just about that for this video. In the next video, we are going to be looking at user registration and admin registration.